This will be followed by a special event of the year, the MSME CEO Meet, where 3 industry leaders will engage in a panel discussion on this year's theme, Empowering MSME Foundries for the Future. We encourage you all to stay and seize the opportunity to interact with these distinguished leaders. The time is right now 3:42. We can assemble back at 4:15 when the session will start. And regarding the sponsors, I request you all to please stay back till the evening celebrations. We would like to honor you for all your services. Thank you. Sir, Senthil Kumar sir, Chairman of IS Chennai Chapter, please coordinate and bring them front. We would like to start early. Tasty coffee and tea. All right. It is my pleasure to welcome you all to the MSME CEO Meet, held under the inspiring theme, Empowering MSME Foundries for the Future. This gathering brings together visionary leaders from the MSME Foundry sector to share insights, strategies, and innovations that will drive growth and sustainability in the years ahead. To begin this session, we now invite Mr. Vignesh Ramanan, immediate past chairman of the IIF Chennai chapter, to introduce our moderator of the day, Mr. Varatharajan, plant head Nelcast Limited.
It gives me immense pleasure in introducing our moderator for the most anticipated session of the day, the MSME CEO Meet with eminent MDs and CEOs of MSME Foundries from Chennai, which will be moderated by Mr. K. Varatharajan, the Governor of IIF Chennai Chapter. Mr. Varatharajan is the Vice President Operations at Nelcast Limited, bringing 3 decades of hands-on experience across manufacturing, operation excellence, and business leadership. He began his career on the shop floor, steadily rising through the roles in maintenance, production, quality, and plant management, delivering measurable results in productivity, quality, and cost. Known for turning around operations, he has led greenfield ramp-ups, implemented lean practices, and driven automation and process improvements that boosted output, reduced rejections, and strengthened delivery performance. Beyond the factory, he is a committed industry contributor. He serves currently as the Governor of the Institute of Indian Foundrymen, Chennai chapter, where he champions capacity building, knowledge sharing, and MSME competitiveness. The colleagues of him describe him as a pragmatic problem solver, a mentor to young engineers, and a leader who believes that disciplined execution and teamwork can create sustainable excellence. Today, he brings this rich blend of shop floor wisdom and strategic perspective to guide a high-energy, solutions-focused conversations with our MSME leaders. Please join me in welcoming the moderator for the MSME CEO Meet, Mr. K. Varatharajan.
Thank you, Vignesh, for the nice introduction. First, my best wishes for the 76th National Foundry Day celebrations. நமக்கு தெரியாத வேலை இது மாடரேட் பண்ணுறது. ஸோ தெரியாத வேலையை தெரிஞ்சுக்கணும். Foundry அதான் important. Sorry, some of you may not be understanding the Tamil. Sometimes on and off I will speak English, Tamil, and then I will go back to English. So change is permanent. That is the reason I wanted to start with. Any change you have to adapt. Without adapting the change, we cannot survive in the Foundry. That is the main thing which I focused in my entire career. Because on and off I have been given the changes from, as Vignesh told, from maintenance to operations to new product development and quality. All the areas are rather, in fact, all the functions of Foundry I have worked practically. So some of the knowledge is gained. That is the reason I am standing in front of you. And thanks for the Chennai chapter and the IF Southern region giving me the opportunity to moderate this session. First, I introduce the panelists. Then one by one I will invite to the dais. And then after that, we'll go with the proceedings. So first, Mr. T. Kandaswamy is a second generation foundryman, MD of Southern Allied Foundries. Recently expanded operations with a new foundry for specialty castings. We are pleased to welcome Mr. T. Kandaswamy, Managing Director of Southern Allies, as one of the esteemed panelists for the MSME CEO Meet. Mr. Kandaswamy holds bachelor's degree in metallurgy from Madras University and has been an integral part of the Indian foundry industry since 1985. When he joined his family-run business Southern Alloy Foundries, established over 60 years ago with the technical collaboration from the International Nickel Company, UK, is a pioneer in the manufacturing of high-quality ductile iron castings, especially in the heavy segment. With the decades of hands-on experience in every aspect of foundry operations, Mr. Kandaswamy brings deep industry knowledge and leadership to the table. Under his guidance, Southern Alloy Foundries, called SAF, has grown as a reliable name in quality castings and continues to serve both domestic and international markets. He has extensive international exposure, having traveled across USA, UK, Europe, Malaysia, Singapore, and it goes on the list, exploring global trends and innovations in metallurgy and manufacturing. Mr. Kandaswamy is also an active member of several professional and industry bodies, including CAE, EEPC, IAF, and IGCC. He contributes to the community through his involvement with the Rotary Club of Madras Metro, where he served as a president, and he is also a member of the Madras Gymkhana Club. He is married and proud father of two. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Kandaswamy to the dais. The next panelist, Mr. K.S. Anbuselvan, is the seasoned leader with 36 years of experience, currently serves as the CEO of Indsat Corporation and Ecocham Private Limited. His professional journey spans technical, managerial, and entrepreneurial roles, giving him comprehensive view of manufacturing operations and growth. He holds a BSc, BTech, and MBA, and a Master of Human Rights. This blended technical and management education, complemented by grounding in human rights, shapes his people concern-centered and ethics-driven leadership style. Beyond his corporate responsibilities, Mr. Anbuselvan is deeply engaged in the industry development and policy advocacy. He is the president of the Perungudi Industrial Estate Manufacturer Association and the vice president of MITAA. He is also chairs the National Non-Ferrous Committee of the IAF, serves as a General Secretary of the MSME Federation of Tamil Nadu, and is an Executive Committee member of Tansita State Board. Through these roles, he consistently advances MSME interests and manufacturing competitiveness. An author and innovator, he has written 2 books on aluminum foundry, sharing practical knowledge with the wider engineering community. He also holds design patent rights for products manufactured by his companies, reflecting a sustained commitment to innovation, quality, and intellectual property. Sir, please welcome. Next, non-technical person becoming the Foundryman. It's, of course, is well known to me and a very close friend of mine. Mr. S.V. Ranganathan, Managing Director, Sri Venkatachalapathy Allies Private Limited. Mr. S.V. Ranganathan is a dynamic and visionary entrepreneur currently serving as the Managing Director of Sri Venkatachalapathy Allies Private Limited, a leading MSME specializing in high-quality iron castings for industries including automotive, agriculture, and general engineering. A commerce graduate from T.G. Vaishnava College, Chennai, and MBA in International Marketing from PhD Institute of Management, Coimbatore. Mr. Ranganathan began his career in his family's business, Sriram Enterprises, where he played a key role in business development and market expansion. In 2014, driven by his passion for manufacturing, he founded SVPL in Gumdipundi, Tamil Nadu. Under his leadership, this company has grown into modern 85,000 square feet foundry facility, producing 500 metric ton grey and ductile iron castings monthly, with a strong focus on quality, innovation, and customer satisfaction. Mr. Ranganathan has over 2 decades of experience in raw materials and foundry operations. He has held notable industry positions, including chairman of the Indian Foundrymen, Chennai chapter, and has been actively involved in community initiatives as president of the Rotary Club of Gumdipundi Industrial City. A committed leader both in the industry and society, he champions inclusive growth through CSR efforts and local development initiatives. He lives in the Chennai with his wife Lakshmi and their 2 children. Well, please welcome along with me to the dais, Mr. Ranganathan. Yeah. Yes. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It's my privilege to welcome you all to this special MSME CEO meet organized on the occasion of the 76th National Foundry Day celebrations by IF Southern Region and Chennai chapter. As we gather to celebrate the remarkable journey of the industry, we must also look ahead with the clarity and conviction. The Indian foundry sector is a powerhouse, producing over 13 million tons of castings annually, and MSME foundries are its backbone, agile, innovative, and deeply connected to customer needs. Today, MSME foundries face an environment of both challenge and opportunity, from rapid technology advancements, global supply chain shifts, the China Plus One strategy, to raising expectations on the quality and sustainability. At the same time, financial pressures, workforce retention, and evolving customer demands test our resilience. This conclave is about learning from those who have navigated these waters with determination and success. Our three panelists totally are not just accomplished entrepreneurs, they are living examples of what it means to adapt, pursue, and grow in the foundry business. We will explore the key themes that matter most of MSME foundries: technology adoption, financial discipline, export, succession planning, government support, accurate costing, and professional HR practices. I encourage everyone to listen and take notes and carry back some of the points which will be useful to your business. Let us begin by hearing from each of our panelists about their entrepreneurial journey, the challenges they faced, the turning points they embraced, and the lessons they learned along the way. First, I request each of the panel member to brief about them and how they are into the business. And I request Mr. Kandaswamy sir to first start with your journey in the industry.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Thank you. First, let me thank IF for inviting me to be here, and also for the nice introduction. As I got introduced, I'm basically a metallurgical engineer by graduate, and rather, I didn't have a choice. So as I said, I was a second generation entrepreneur. So my first generation, my father had already started a foundry. So he was very particular that I should do metallurgy. You won't believe me, when I joined my college, when I said the first year, no, you don't take the branch, only in the second year you start taking the branches. So when I said I'm going to do metallurgy, that was supposed to be the worst department. All the drug addicts go to the department. So I said metallurgy, everybody was surprised. But you won't believe, today, metallurgy is the most sought after department. The number of students, I studied, it was 9 students in my class, but today there is more than 40, 50, and everyone gets placed. Everyone gets placed as soon as they do the metallurgy. So it's the most sought after department. So anyway, 1985 is the time I joined my foundry. As soon as I finished my education, I have 40 years of experience. My company is 65 years plus old. So when I say 40 years of experience, my father always quotes this anecdote. So I assume that most of them know Tamil over here. So அவர் என்ன சொல்வார், செக்கு மாடு ஓடினே இருக்கும்பாங்க, ஆனால் செக்கு மாடுக்கு செக்கு எப்படி வேலை செய்யுதுன்னு தெரியாது. ஸோ நான் 40 வருஷம் ஃபவுண்டரியில் இருந்தால் கூட என்ன எக்ஸ்பீரியன்ஸ்ன்றது, அது செக்கு மாடாக இருந்தால் ஒரு எக்ஸ்பீரியன்ஸ் இருக்காது. ஸோ this is what he always tells me about experience in a foundry. But I presume I'm not that bad. So I should have gathered some experience in running a foundry. So my time in the last 40 years experience, what I would like to say is, it has been a tough business. Given a choice, I wouldn't have come into this business. I always tell that there is an easier way to make money than to make money in the foundry industry. The industry was very highly competitive. People undercut. So you have to be always on your toes to be a supplier of castings, especially profitably. I have seen in my lifetime companies who have got inaugurated and then shut down. After I joined my company, new companies come, new foundries come, they run, they start production, they compete with me, and then they are shut down. So after a few shutdowns, I realized that I'll have to sustain till the other person dies. So sometimes it's really happened. Don't believe India Cements was my competitor. Western Crompton was my competitor. I had to compete with them, and they used to, I don't mind naming it. I used to survive when they used to undercoat in the same business. But we were very particular. My father was very particular. That's how he trained me. We charge what is the right price for the casting. We never undercoat. We will walk out if it's an undercoat. We charge our price. In the market, I saw some people here with a CAT logo. CAT is one of my major customers. I asked the price to CAT, and I tell them that if they're not able to pay the price, then I'm not their supplier. And I have to say that CAT is a fantastic buyer. They really appreciate the foundry. They pay a reasonable price to the foundry. So only I deal with customers who are able to pay me the price. Second thing is quality. That is the most important aspect, I feel, and there once again I'll have to pay my kudos to my father, the chairman. He was basically not I always tell him that you are not a businessman. You are only a foundryman. I call myself a business person. I don't call myself a foundryman. I'm a business person. My father was a pure and pure foundryman. He's 94 plus. Because I shifted to the new unit, Gummudi Putti is not coming because it's 1 hour 15 minutes travel. Till I was there in unit 1, my mother used to come. But anytime I have breakfast with him, he only talks nothing else but what happened today, what happened. So that's how it's in his blood. So it's the quality he was so married to quality that he was very particular. He was never worried about the cost of manufacture. He said this component needs this method of manufacturing. If this involves this cost, you have to spend that money. So I remember once we had a renowned foundryman, Mr. Dikshit, Mysore Kirloskar. So once he was my foundry, and I took him around my foundry, and then he came back and he met my father, and he said, the first time I'm seeing a textbook foundry. So I realized immediately what he meant by textbook foundry. So my father is all foundrymen should be that, all of you read the books about Stephen I. Carsey, the renowned person of the ductile iron castings. Whatever he said in his textbooks, we used to follow. The gating system, the ratios, the well, we used to manufacture exactly like that, no cutting corners, exactly like that, and the casting will be like a textbook casting. So he said, I remember that because it's so many years back, but I still remember because that's a wonderful compliment he has paid us. So today, to the new people over here, I do not know how many buyers of castings are here, and I do not know how many people are from the management side, but I assume most of you are from the technical side. But here, I'm sitting here as a CEO, as a management guy. So for me, I'm not going very much into the technical part of it. I'm going to more look into the commercial part of it. Costing is very, very important. You have to get the price which you want. And more than that, the quality. If there is quality, people come to you. I think that is the only reason I have survived for 65 plus years. If I had not been supplying quality component, I would not have survived in this market. So that's it from the side of introduction. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Now let's hear from Mr. K. Anbuselvan.
Good evening.
Good evening.
And thank Chennai chapter and SR for inviting me to the CEO meet. I'm really thankful for that. Basically, I'm an instrumentation engineer, not a mechanical engineer, not a metallurgical engineer from MIT. Incidentally, I started only electronic component manufacturing industry. And in 1991, when Narasimha government was there, they made the liberalization. And overnight, I became bankrupt.
How?
Because 100% it was imported, all components. I was my Solida, Dynara, those days TV companies, all my customers. Even whatever I supplied to that company, they returned back. Because they told we had abolished that quality control department. Because all are some robo-fitted components. So I was really like a mad person. I was roaming for 3-4 months. Then I decided, whatever the technology is going to come, I will choose a business which will not get disturbed. That's the foundry business. That is the reason I went into the foundry. Whatever may be technology, even if it's a rocket or aeroplane or whatever is there, definitely a foundry is required. So we'll go for first foundry. Then I learned foundry by jumping into it, not by learning and going into it. I do not know ABC. In my college, I only seen the foundry from that far. The foreman will pour. Ana ipdi da oothingala ipdi da ram panningala apdi da keppom. That's how with the foundry. Instrumentation engineer, we don't not need a foundry. They will doing and we will just know what is well. Okay, this is this. Okay, for writing the exams and the lab, whatever is required, we just see. That's all. All this foundry. But I am very fortunate to have one mentor for me, who is Mr. Kunjita Badam. He's supposed to be like a father of aluminum castings in this part of the country. CRP. Earlier it was called the Southern Die Casting. Now it is CRP. So I took some advices and guidance from him, and I concentrated on gravity and sand casting because he was into pressure die casting. So I don't want to go into the same field. So we started this casting industry, and I got after a lot of persuasion, I entered into Lucas TVS. Lucas, one Mr. Mohan was there earlier, purchase manager. Used to tell, I'm going to change in my dictionary pursuance. Anbuselvan edu poran. Adu eduthittu because daily I used to meet him. Enna sir. It's very difficult those days to get into you. Now also it's difficult only. At one point of time, he got some problem. Existing suppliers didn't supply, so it's a big supplier. He told me, can you do this? I told, okay, give me. So I tried night and day and I delivered. Then after I became a regular supplier. That too I was in a vertical 3. Lucas said supplier to supplier to supplier vertical 3. And at the one point of time they want to supply along with the material. At that time the vertical, above my vertical, they are hesitating. I immediately jumped into it. Yes, I will supply. Then I will become the tier 1 supplier for them. Then they become tier 2 and tier 3. Like that it has become. Then I also entered Leyland and all these things. Slowly. This is 100% built by me, by brick. It's not like somebody gave me by a platform. That is totally. It's all 3 months. Arrange finance, learning and building the factory. And today, for the past almost 30-35 years, we are, like Mr. Kandaswamy is telling, I have seen so many foundries coming and going. But we are able to sustain and we are growing. And I decided this OE, because in Chennai and all these 4 districts, most of the aluminum castings are only OE suppliers, generally. Through Kanchipuram, Chengalpattu and Chennai. And OE supply, you will have turnover. You will have turnover. Rest you can fill it up. Only turnover. That's all. You can say, 100 people are working, 200 people are working, I do this much turnover, 50 crores with 100 crores turnover. But if you see what's the net profit, that you should not see. If you see, you will not run the industry. That is the real fact. Then I decided we should go for the products. I have tried so many, number of products, lot of failures. Like even Thomas Alva Edison, success rate only 2%. Okay, we are not that great. So I have tried n number of times, and finally we got a good product. We are the first product to develop in the country. Bottom loading system for the oil tankers. Oil tankers, we are the first Indian product, and we got approval from Petroleum Explosive Safety Organization, only unit in the country to get this approval. And we are 50% of the MNC cost. The American and European cost, we are 50%. And after I entered the market, they reduced the cost to close me. But I got a strong foundation in Foundry, so never they can close me. So that is happening. Even the sensor we are importing, that also we have developed. So it's a full-fledged package we are now developing. I am more concentrating nowadays with the product development, Foundry as a foundation, and other the product development. So I got a lot of patent rights for all these products. And we are growing fast because we are our own product, own brand. Our brand is Flow. Flow brand is our brand. So now we are a product developing company, Foundry plus product. That's the institution. So this is my story in a nutshell. In between, so many downfalls and failures and all these things, but only thing required is never say, never die. Like James Bond. We have to be, we will never die. Only Tamil is Vetti alladhu Veera Maranam. No us going back. Either a win or a die. That's all. So we have to keep on going and we definitely will win. I know that. There's no second thought about it. We will definitely win. That's our path is going. And now I'm happy. My son has now stepped into the business. So I'm more confident and I am developing very fast, putting a lot of efforts so that I should hand it over in a very good situation. You should not struggle. I am thinking you should not struggle, but definitely you'll have more struggle. I know that. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Very nicely narrated your story and journey into foundry industry. Non-foundry, I mean, you are basically engineering graduate, but not into the mechanical or metallurgy, but instrumentation engineer, now becoming a foundryman. It's a good inspiration for the audience who are sitting here. And now let us hear from Mr. Ranganathan, his journey into the foundry industry.
Good evening, everybody. So, I thank the Chennai chapter, Southern region, and the organizing committee for giving me this opportunity this evening to be here in the CEO meet, and wish the 76th NFT celebrations a grand success. So, coming to my journey to Foundry, once I finished my BCom, like what Varatharajan sir was saying, I'm totally a commercial graduate. So Dad was saying that, okay, what is your plans? Are you going to study further, or you come into business, or what are you planning to do? I said, that point in time, I didn't want to do anything to... So I said, I'm going to study further. So I went and did my MBA in International Business in PSG, Coimbatore. And again, after finishing International Business, we had a conversation. He had come to Coimbatore. So he said, why are you, it's daytime and I'm seeing you that you are in your room. You have not gone to college. I said, I have...
Get redone.
I said, I'm going to anyways come to business. So, today is all, campus interviews going on, so I'm not attending campus interviews. He said, what is this? Why did you do MBA then? And who told you that you are going into come to business? So, I thought, okay. He said, you have to attend all the campus interviews and you are not coming into business now. Then I went and sat the next day. The first thing was I got selected. There were people who were, attending interviews after interviews, and so that day, that was a good confidence booster. And then onwards, it was a bank, Centurion Bank. So I joined as management trainee. So after 8 months in the bank, again, one day I got a call from him saying that, our family business, myself and, Sriram Enterprises, our flagship company, and it is a 45 years old business now. And that time he called up and told me, my partner is planning to retire, Mr. S. Vasudevan. So I need additional hand. So I see that you're doing well in your banking industry. So why don't you come over and join? I said, very good. So at last, you seem to have some confidence in me. So I will come over and join. So then no looking back, things in business went off very well. Till one such day, one Mr. S.P. Arnachalam, a very seasoned foundryman, came to our office and he said, your son is doing good marketing. I see that he can sell anything under the sun. If somebody is there, he will sell that person also. So, why don't you, get him into a foundry? Dad said, which foundry? He said, I have technical knowledge, and if you are ready to invest, we can start a foundry, and we three can come together. So that day was a turning point in
my career and life. Till then, thanks to Allied, we were the distributors for Allied, and I used to spend, you won't believe, about 24 to 36 hours in a foundry trying to install a product. Then Raj and myself have spent days and nights in foundries trying to install all the products and do everything. So that helped me to get an insight into foundry. Like Varatharajan sir was saying, otherwise I had to sell the product. For selling the product, for a good marketing person, what I think is, he has to know the product. Till I tell the other man in the foundry that I am a non-technical person, he should not know that I am a commercial man. So to that extent, we need to know the product. That is what is one thing which Dad always used to say. So that helped me to really get into foundry. And always one thing, sir, it looked greener from the other side. But like Prabhu sir used to say, welcome on board. எல்லாரும் புலி வருதுன்னு நினச்சிட்டு இருப்பாங்க, புலி மேலே உட்காந்து வரேன்னு நினச்சிட்டு இருப்பாங்க. நம்மளுக்கு தான் தெரியும், புலி மேலே ஏறி உட்காந்தாச்சு, இனிமேல் இறங்கவும் முடியாது, புலி வால் கூட இல்லை, நம்ம ஏறி உட்காந்து வரோம். அதனால வந்து foundry industry is like that, what Kandaswamy sir was saying. I really agree. Probably that day was a turning point in my life. If I had known that foundry industry is so difficult, I would have, really loved to be in the trading side, not in the manufacturing. But no regrets, because the pride of your castings running on a tractor or a light commercial vehicle, heavy commercial vehicle, we can proudly say we are only 10 years old compared to the two doyens sitting here, and especially Varatharajan sir also. We are only 10 years old in this foundry industry, but we can proudly say the hydraulic pumps, which is being used in, I don't want to name the company, but in the tractor industry, 90% of that company's tractor hydraulic pumps is from SVPL. And if you take a light commercial vehicle, we are giving a steering box which is 100% from our company. So we know that company, that steering box is only from SVPL. We can proudly say that you see the steering box, it is our steering box. So like that, we have some 4-5 items where we share the 100% share of business. So to that extent, SVPL has grown in this 10 years. And one more very, very crucial this thing is now I have my dear friend Kumar sir as my fellow colleague who is heading the technical part. And we have developed lost form castings. And proudly we can say we are probably 4th or 5th in the country to successfully bring out SGI casting. And we have been successful, and we are going to submit samples to the customer. From our side, we have seen that everything is okay. So in this August gathering, I would like to announce that lost form castings in SVPL is a success. So this has been the journey till now. Over the time, we can probably take it further. Thank you.
Sure. Thanks, Mr. Ranganathan. Though I have interaction with you since I think 2008 onwards, so some unknown things to me today through this introduction I am able to hear. Thank you, great, and all the best for your future. And me and Vignesh and Raj have selected our 5 to 6 topics, and for each panelist we are going to have 2 questions. First one questions I'll ask to each one of you, so that you can answer this. First, because nowadays the challenges are more, technology is more important in the foundry industry, so we start with the technology adoption. The first question to Mr. Kandaswamy. What's the most recent technology you brought into your new foundry, sir?
We have not brought anything new which is not known to the foundry industry, but probably you can say it is new to us. As just like to inform the audience here that we specialize only in the manufacture of ductile iron castings and mostly heavyweight castings. And we had sort of notions of manufacture of ductile iron castings. Whether right or wrong, we believe in that. We always believe that the ductile iron castings should be produced with a box. Producing casting without a box might lead to defective castings. You need a very strong mold. But I also know that most of the foundries, many foundries do not necessarily do that. They manufacture ductile iron castings in flaskless mold. To answer your question, we have just recently introduced a flaskless mold line in our things. It is new to us, but not new to the industry. Yeah. And here also, with our philosophy that we are restricting the weight of the castings. We are not going to exceed a certain particular weight because we believe certain castings with a heavier weight, we may not get the required radiographic quality because almost 99% of my castings are radiographic quality. So that is the only thing new we have done. So otherwise, if you take, so we are trying to adopt this Industry 4.0. So I'm investing, I already invested huge money on cameras throughout the foundry, capturing the operation and trying to collect the data. That is one thing which we are planning and already under execution. Of course, other than that, if you are new, I'll say, I would like to tell this audience over here because most of you are Foundrymen. We've been using a magma simulation software for very many years. Now we have advanced from a single core to 8 core, only because we are planning to develop many castings, and we are extremely happy with the simulation software, and we adopt the software to the fullest extent. Rather, I would say that this I like to share because I want the audience here to understand how we operate with the simulation software. For us to produce a one sample castings, on average we run at least 14 simulations. People say that we are running too many simulations, but that's how we do. Once I purchase the software, it is free. It's only a question of time. I have purchased the software. Every year I'm going to pay AMC. It's free. Afterwards, everything free. Whether I run or don't run, I still have the same expense. It doesn't increase. So we always run the simulation. For me, my average 14 simulations solver. Even a small change I make. I increase the temperature, I run a simulation. I reduce the temperature, I run a simulation. I change my gating thickness, I run a simulation. I change the position, I run a simulation. It doesn't cost me money, but I'm very confident how it's going to exact. So technology-wise, this is what we are adopting. So it's nothing great about the new technologies. We are looking in the future to go for a 3D printing software because some of my customers are asking for 1-off, 2-off castings. So that is something we are looking up in the future. So, thank you.
Thank you, sir. The next question to Mr. Ranganathan. Already he answered. Anyway, since we set up the question, I am asking him. How do you evaluate whether a new technology is worth the investment?
So, lost form castings is one which we thought we should go in for because we did an extensive drive on going to Japan, Vietnam, China, and all these places, and especially in automotive industry, we are seeing that customer is asking for minimum 3 to 4% decrease in price year on year. So we thought, okay, we'll have to tighten our belts in the sense, one is cutting down on rejections, improving productivity, but most important thing is adopting technology which will help you to reduce the cost which you may or may not pass on to the customer. So one such thing is lost form castings that we did, and probably in the days to come it will answer whether our investment was right, because we think the cost of production will be the same, but we'll have some advantages like net to shape, made net to shape, and machining allowance, coming down, and so many other benefits of lost form castings. So that is how we have, till now, whatever investments we have made is but future will only say whether we have done it the right way, or we'll have to wait and see. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
That company, that steering box is only from SVPL. We can proudly say that you see the steering box, it is our steering box. So like that, we have some 4-5 items where we share the 100% share of business. So to that extent, SVPL has grown in this 10 years. And one more very, very crucial this thing is now I have my dear friend Kumar sir as my fellow colleague who is heading the technical part, and we have developed lost form castings, and proudly we can say we are probably 4th or 5th in the country to successfully bring out SDI and casting, and we have been successful, and we are going to submit samples to the customer. From our side, we have seen that everything is okay. So in this August gathering, I would like to announce that lost form castings in SVPL is a success. So this has been the journey till now. Over the time, we can probably take it further. Thank you.
Sure. Thanks, Mr. Ranganathan. Though I have interaction with you since I think 2008 onwards, so some unknown things to me today through this introduction I am able to hear. Thank you, great, and all the best for your future. And me and Vignesh and Raj have selected our 5 to 6 topics, and for each panelist we are going to have 2 questions. First round, one questions I'll ask to each one of you, so that you can answer this. First, because nowadays the challenges are more, technology is more important in the foundry industry, so we start with the technology adoption. The first question to Mr. Kandaswamy. What's the most recent technology you brought into your new foundry, sir?
We have not brought anything new which is not known to the foundry industry, but probably you can say it is new to us. Just like to inform the audience here that we specialize only in the manufacture of ductile iron castings, and mostly heavyweight castings. And we had sort of notions of manufacture ductile iron castings. Whether right or wrong, we believe in that. We always believe that ductile iron castings should be produced with a box. Producing casting without a box might lead to defective castings. You need a very strong mold. But I also know that most of the foundries, many foundries do not necessarily do that. They manufacture ductile iron castings in flaskless mold. To answer your question, we have just recently introduced a flaskless mold line in our things. It is new to us, but not new to the industry. Yeah. And here also, with our philosophy that we are restricting the weight of the castings. We are not going to exceed a certain particular weight, because we believe certain castings with a heavier weight, we may not get the required radiographic quality, because almost 99% of my castings are radiographic quality. So that is the only thing new we have done. So otherwise, if you take, so we are trying to adopt this Industry 4.0. So I'm investing, I already invested huge money on cameras throughout the foundry, capturing the operation and trying to collect the data. That is one thing which we are planning and already under execution. Of course, other than that, if you are new, I'll say, I would like to tell this audience over here, because most of you are Foundrymen. We've been using a magma simulation software for very many years. Now we have advanced from a single core to 8 core, only because we are planning to develop many castings, and we are extremely happy with the simulation software, and we adopt the software to the fullest extent. Rather, I would say that this I like to share, because I want the audience here to understand how we operate with the simulation software. For us to produce a one sample castings, on an average, we run at least 14 simulations. People say that we are running too many simulations, but that's how we do. Once I purchase the software, it is free. It's only a question of time. I have purchased the software. Every year I'm going to pay AMC. It's free. Afterwards, everything free. Whether I run or don't run, I still have the same expense. It doesn't increase. So we always run the simulation. For me, my average 14 simulations solver. Even a small change I make. I increase the temperature, I run a simulation. I reduce the temperature, I run a simulation. I change my gating thickness, I run a simulation. I change the position, I run a simulation. It doesn't cost me money, but I'm very confident how it's going to exact. So technology-wise, this is what we are adopting. So it's nothing great about the new technologies. We are looking in the future to go for a 3D printing software because some of my customers are asking for 1-off, 2-off castings. So that is something we are looking up in the future. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. The next question to Mr. Ranganathan. Already he answered. Anyway, since we set up the question, I am asking him. How do you evaluate whether a new technology is worth the investment?
So, lost form castings is one which we thought we should go in for because we did an extensive drive on going to Japan, Vietnam, China, and all these places, and especially in automotive industry, we are seeing that customer is asking for minimum 3 to 4% decrease in price year on year. So we thought, okay, we'll have to tighten our belts in the sense, one is cutting down on rejections, improving productivity. But most important thing is adopting technology which will help you to reduce the cost which you may or may not pass on to the customer. So one such thing is lost form castings that we did, and probably in the days to come it will answer whether our investment was right, because we think the cost of production will be the same, but we'll have some advantages like net to shape, made net to shape, and machining allowance coming down, and so many other benefits of lost form castings. So that is how we have, till now, whatever investments we have made is all, but it will, future will only say whether we have done it the right way or we'll have to wait and see. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So to Anbu sir, do you feel MSMEs in non-ferrous foundries are hesitant to adopt the automation?
No, definitely no, because everybody wants to go high tech. Any entrepreneur definitely wants his business or industry to be in the top slot. That is the dream, that is the ambition for any entrepreneur. But MSME is deprived with the resources to aluminum industry, all small industries, not like ferrous. Aluminum are micro and small industries, most of the industries. They are all deprived with the resources. So whatever the resources they are having, they try to upgrade themselves and they try to go for new technology. So only thing is, there is my mind is there, money is not there. So 1 M is there, 1 M is missing.
Thank you, sir. Next to Kandaswamy, sir. Did you face any resistance from your workforce by adopting the area? You are told you have not brought any new technologies, but small automation, low cost automation, those kind of things, your people are accepting it or not?
We're talking about automation.
Automation
or... absolutely, yes. The people are ready to accept anything. But here, I would like to share something. Once we are trying anything new, so I am a person who always discuss with my whole team. So anything I want to know, I might have very strong ideas, but then I go to my team, I share it with my team. I'm very particular how I ask my question. My question will not have the answers. So I generally put the question so that the other people will think and then give the answer. So mostly I have a discussion with them, and even 6 months before that plan is coming to work out, people will know what's going to happen. So I have a discussion with them. So once I discuss with them and tell them, get their opinion and form a decision and then share the decision, this is what we are planning, this is what we are going to do. I have not received any objection or things like that. So, yeah, no. And even here, when I moved from my existing unit to a new unit, almost a year back, we did a survey of my people. We want to know how many people are going to come, how many people are not going to come. We told the people who are not going to come that we'll pay them even a few months' wages if they stay back. We took their consent. Only after that, we employed fresh people, So it's sort of more of a better communication with them, telling them what is going to happen. So that way they are knowing what to expect. It doesn't come suddenly. Nothing is thrusted on them suddenly. So then it works out. I got no issues with reference to that.
Thank you, sir. I think the next question goes to Mr. Ranganathan. This question will definitely a commercial person can answer better. From your experience, how critical is technology is meeting the customer requirements?
Surely, technology is one thing for especially MSME. We find it very, very important to meet customer requirement. It is very, very important. But how far we are able to adopt it due to financial limitations is a very big question mark. Like Anbu sir was mentioning, we are aware of where all we are lacking to adopt technology, but it is a big limitation because of the capital investment required to adopt such technology.
Okay, thank you.
So let me interrupt. Sir, technology is very, very important. But when you say Foundry, people say Foundry is the mother of all industries.
Yeah.
The metallurgy is common. I mean, I don't think metallurgy has changed because of any technology. Metallurgy is common.
Yes.
Methoding as maybe the simulation software has helped the Foundrymen to adopt the technology. That is where I say that's a great technology. I like to share here, there was one customer of mine from Japan. He came, and one of the questions he put forth me was, how old is your development engineer? I felt that was a fantastic question. How old is your development engineer? That's a beautiful question, because at that point of time, my development engineer was almost nearing 70. That means he's got that much of experience. Now, he would have seen so many failure of castings, and when he develops a new castings, he can adopt that failure and say, this is the solution I did. But today, your simulation software can help you there. Of course, you cannot replace a Foundry methods engineer, but a large extent helps. So technology is very much, but of course, as I said, money is a constraint. But here, I will blame the Foundrymen. Why is that you're having a business and not making money? You're supposed to make money. That's what's the purpose of running a business. We'll have to see how to make money in this business. I always tell my customers, one customer got pretty upset. I said, when I serve you coffee, you are paying for it. I'm not paying for your coffee. You are paying for the coffee I serve you. So nothing comes free, You have to pay for it. You'll have to charge your customers, get your revenue. Otherwise, customers demand technology, and here we say we don't have money to invest on technology. It's, once again, that's my sort of a pet subject, costing.
Yeah, there is a topic on this, sir. Definitely, you can throw some more light on this. To Anbu, sir, what one technology do you believe there can transform the MSME industries in the next 5 years?
there's no one technology. Technology is dynamic.
You can add more, sir. No
It's
problem.
dynamic. Every day it keeps innovating itself. The one technology I can say is we have to be ready to go, travel along with the technology. That's the only best technology you can follow to improve your industry. What technology comes in the line, you have to travel along with it. If you don't travel along with technology, you will be left behind. So there is no business for you. And one more thing is, today and tomorrow and thereafter also, manpower is going to be a big problem. Because slowly, we will not have manpower, we will put is physical labor. That is going to reduce. Okay, yes, that is the evolution of humankind. Initially, we hunted the whole hand animals, then stone, then weapon, then everything came. So slowly, applying physical labor is going to reduce. So we need to do automation or semi-automation, whatever the capacity we have, to reduce the physical labor of the manpower. Then only we can retain the manpower. So availability of manpower is going to be the biggest technology. And maintaining that labor power is the biggest technology we should follow to sustain our industry. That is my opinion.
Yes, sir. Yeah, well answered. Yes, all the Foundry people are finding very difficult to get the people. I think last 3 months or 4 months from April to June, we are all Foundries depending on the migrant labors. So we are all facing the problem. So as he said, we have to start moving towards the semi-automation and then fully automation. Maybe in next 10 years, we should go for the automation fully. Thank you, sir. Next topic, what we thought of it, the financial planning and resource management. So this question goes to the right person first, Mr. Ranganathan. Cash flow is always a challenge for MSMEs. How do you manage it during lean and demand cycles?
Yeah, so a very favorite and right question. Again, for a foundry of our size, we make probably, I was telling somebody, I think Sanjay sir this afternoon, whatever we make small bits and pieces here and there, some few lakhs in a month or whatever, when a lean period comes, everything just gets washed off, and to a very big extent. As a MSME, that is where we find it extremely difficult to make positive margins when such a lean period comes. But in this, I would say 10 years doesn't seem to be a very big period. It seems very short, because even though we would have seen a lot of ups and downs, still we are in the learning phase. But now what we have understood is operations is one, and rejections, of course, very important. But most of the important thing in Foundry is your order books needs to be full always. If the order books are not full, and especially with a good pricing from the customer, if we are on a wafer thin margin and keeping our orders only about, not even just 80 to 90%, you should be always at 150%. See, because earlier, or all the foundries, we always talk of on-time delivery, customer delight, and all these things. But when we are under such a terrible situation, you know, when your order books really goes bad, and when you're on a lean period, you know, nobody's going to come to your rescue. So as a MSME, it would be very appropriate, or I think not MSME alone, for any foundry, order books, keeping it at minimum 120 to 150% of your capacity is very important. And successful foundries, whomsoever I see, I think that is the main mantra when I see from outside. That's my take on it, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Kandaswamy, sir, when you expand, are you doing the risk analysis, or how you are mitigating the risk?
I didn't get you. Come again, sir.
when you expand,
Yeah.
Are you doing the risk analysis or any risk, how you are countering?
No risk analysis. I was rather forced to do this expansion, you know. So here I was in, I'm a 65-year-old foundry. Here I was in outskirts of Chennai city or Madras city at this call. My father used to say that there never used to be a tea shop at that point of time when he started this. He has to go all the way to Perambur even to have a cup of tea. That was the location over there. Now the city has grown and the city has surrounded ourselves. So when I wanted to, with the knowledge I had, I was able to understand that it is a question of time before we are surrounded by real estate and people are going to complain against it, because I heard of this many times. Like some foundry is there and suddenly some house is going to come. I heard this in UK, it's happening. UK, the foundry is there, the lady comes and washes her clothes and dries it and it becomes black in color because they next the foundry and they complain, and all the departments always favor the public, not the foundry. So here I was there and it's getting surrounded by residential area. So we decided we had to move out. So rather we were forced to move out. So that was the purpose expansion. So maybe many years back, I decided that we need to move out. So I bought into a land and sort of moved out. Did I do a risk analysis? Rather, I would say that, you know, like to share something to you and as well as Mr. Ranganathan, that we are a debt-free company. And I want to make, that's how we operate. One of the reasons is we always plow back the profits. So if you see how do I make a living, I make a living out of my foundry. I don't have any other income. We are maybe a business person for the last 60 years. Do I have any other income? No. My income is my foundry. If I don't run my foundry, I don't have an income. I do not know what's my next step. So what is the meaning of that? I put all my money in the foundry. I put all my money in the foundry. I make sure that my foundry runs smoothly, not because of any cash flow. Yes, do we have a cash flow problem? Most of our customers, today this is true for any foundry, most of the customers today pay on time, most of them at least, because all corporate customers have a very well disciplined payment procedure, they all pay on time. So payment is, when somebody doesn't pay me on time, I don't do business with them. I tell my marketing sales team and the marketing team that this is a cycle. I am not interested in you to sell castings. I'm interested that you sell the casting and collect the money and bring it to my account. Otherwise, I'm not interested in selling castings. I stop supplies castings. If people do not pay me, I stop. If people do not give me a price revision, I stop supplies. That's how I operate. I think a lot of suppliers are here. I think I gained respect on my suppliers. I treat my suppliers well. I rather give more respect to my suppliers. I have suppliers who are third generation. Suppliers are third generation. I do not change my suppliers. For a few rupees here and there, I'll never change my supplier. I always wedded to my supplier. Touch wood till time now that with our discipline, we are able to maintain a sort of positive cash flow. So one of the question was, did I do a risk analysis? No, we did not do.
Great, sir. Thank you for a straight answer. Thank you. And next, the question goes to Anbu sir. Do you rely more on banks, internal accruals, or the investor support for the growth?
For MSME, there will not be any investor. You have to invest yourself. Only corporates can think of PPP, public money. OPM, other people's money. So MSME doesn't have that kind of luxury. We have to see our internal accruals, and I rely on banks. Bank is the most reliable source of for finance, because we can bargain for a reasonable interest, and they will be at our side when we are promptly paying their EMI or whatever is their interest. Definitely they will be on our side. Whenever we go for expansion, definitely they will support us, because they know the entire transaction goes through them. So they know we are healthy and all these things. Definitely they will support us. I rely mostly on 99% on bank only. I don't have any private financiers or any other source of, not even I will not borrow from anybody from my family also. That also risk. ஏன் காசு அந்த வாழ் தான் சொல்லுவாங்க. நம்ம 10 கோடி போட்டிருப்போம், ஒரு 1 லட்சம் கொடுத்துட்டு என் பைசா தான் அவங்க கம்பெனியாக ஓடுதுன்னுவாங்க. அதனால் அதெல்லாம் வேண்டாம்னு சொல்லிட்டு ஒரு பைசா கூட ஃபேமிலியோட வாங்குறது கிடையாது. ஈவன் ஃப்ரம் மை வைஃப் ஐ வில் நாட் டேக் மணி, ஒன்லி பேங்க். தேங்க்யூ.
Thank you, sir. Your openness. And
let me add something. You know, I made it that we invest all our money in our foundry. That doesn't mean the decision is right. I want the people here to know that I am taking the decision. That doesn't mean that it's a right decision. Because if you talk to a financial person, he may not agree to this decision. So I just want that to be clear. It is my decision. It does not mean it's the right decision. Yeah.
Just to add to that, you know, in our family business also, that is Sriram and this one, we also have the same policy of plowing in all our money into the business that we are doing, because we think when we are in the driving seat, there is no other place better than our own business. It means that we have 100% confidence in what we are doing, than leaving our money with somebody else and thinking that we'll get better returns. So I also surely agree, and we also surely invest all our money in our own business, both in Sriram and SVPL. But it's just that money is not just enough nowadays. With SVPL expanding and having so many ups and downs, so we are also depending on bankers. So I'm 50% this way and 50% that way.
I will tell you one thing, lighter way, no other way. Foundry ஆரம்பிச்சாச்சுன்னு சொன்னால் வேறு ஆல்டர்னேட்டிவ் கிடையாது. ஏன்னா இட்ஸ் ஹைலி கேபிட்டல் இன்டென்சிவ் இண்டஸ்ட்ரி. ஓகே, வாட் எவர் மணி நீங்கள் 100 கோடி கொண்டு கொடுத்தாலும் நான் அதில் போடுவேன். அதில் ஒன்றும் இல்லை, எவ்வளோ பணம் இருந்தாலும் அதில் இட் கீப் ஆன். என் ஒய்ஃப் சொல்லுவாங்க, அந்த இதில் போட்டிங்களா ரைட், அவ்வளோதான், மறந்துட வேண்டியதான். ஏன்னா எவ்வளோ பணம் வந்தாலும் போட்டிங்களா ரைட், சரி வந்தாச்சு. தட் இஸ் அ ஃபவுண்ட்ரி. பட் என்னென்னா ஃபவுண்ட்ரி வளர்ந்துட்டே இருக்கும், க்ரோ ஆகிட்டே இருக்கும். எஸ், இன்றைக்கி இவ்வளோ டன் பண்ணுறோம், அது பண்ணுறோம், அதுதான் நமக்கு ஒரு ஆஸ் என்டர்பிரனர் தட் கிவ்ஸ் மோர் ப்ளஷர் தென் நான் பங்களா வாங்கிட்டேன் அது வாங்கிட்டேன் சொல்கிறத விட என் ஃபவுண்ட்ரி வளர்ந்துட்டா இருக்குது, நான் இவ்வளோ ப்ரொடக்ஷன் பண்ணுறேன், இவ்வளோ கஸ்டமர்ஸ் ஆட் பண்ணியிருக்கேன், இவ்வளோ மெட்டீரியல் சப்ளை பண்ணியிருக்கேன். ரங்கநாதன் சொன்ன மாதிரி அந்த டிராஃபிக்கில் என்னோட பார்ட் போகுது, ஜாண்டியில் என் பார்ட் போகுது, ஒரு வண்டி போகும்போதும் ஓ என்னோடய பார்ட் அதில் இருக்குது. I am also a part of that development. The pride இருக்குல்ல, that is the real pride of a professional as an engineer. ஒரு தந்தை தாய் வந்து ஒரு குழந்தையை பார்த்து சந்தோஷப்படுற மாதிரி நம்மளோட அந்த கேஸ்டிங்கை பார்த்து சந்தோஷப்படுறோம். That is the real passion we have and that drives us beyond all the money, luxury, everything. அது எல்லாத்தையும் விட எவ்வளோ பணம் இருந்தாலும் அதில் போட்டால் நமக்கு சந்தோஷம் தான். ஏன்னா அது வளர்ந்துட்டு இருக்கும், அது அதனால் ஒரு 100 பேர் வேலை கிடைக்கும், இன்னொரு 100 பேர் சப்ளை பண்ணலாம். That is the happiness.
thank you, sir. So next question to Mr. Ranga. What's your view or suggestion? You think that the company should not do financial mistakes?
So right now, I think we are doing a lot of financial mistakes. So I may not be the right person to answer that this thing directly. But from my experience, running the foundry for 10 years, I think I'm in probably two sets of mind. One is probably you expand after you make money, or you keep expanding thinking that you will make money at some point in time. So we are in the verge of, not waiting to get the money back from the investment that we have made, but we are going on investing and expanding. We were just a foundry with 10,000 square feet area when we initially started, and with one ARPA 450 conventional jolt and squeeze line. Everything, I don't know, even just 10 years down the line, I don't know how we manage everything within that 10,000 square feet. But right now we have expanded to 85,000 square feet area with 2 furnaces, 2 lines, and with lost from castings and then machine shop. So to that extent, I think there is nothing wrong in going on expanding before you get out your returns. But if you ask me what mistake a foundryman shouldn't make, I don't know, because I don't know whether I'm making a mistake or I'm doing the right thing. So
Ranganathan, see, you're the best person to run the business because you're a BCom graduate. So engineers, they normally lose track of the finance. They are more wedded to the product. Yes. Prime example is my father, But one fact he had was, he knows the casting. He has developed casting, complicated castings he has developed. And then he says, I'm sorry, I quoted a wrong price. This is very complicated. You know the time and effort I took to develop this. You have to pay me a revised price. And the customer says, no, okay, take back your pattern. So at least he had that sort of discipline. So engineers, that they spend not very much financially disciplined. So non-financial person running a foundry is good. So you have the great advantage.
See, you're 100% right on that, this thing, sir, because when we started this foundry, we went to customers and asked for orders. And they just said that we have some proven patterns. If you want, you can take these patterns and make castings for us. So we were not asked even to quote for the product or castings. They said there is a foundry doing this at X price. So if you want to do it, it is X or X minus something. So we also said, okay, if one foundry is able to do it, and we have a very, very experienced man who has 40 years experience in foundry, he said, I will do it at X minus something, don't worry, we'll do it. You won't believe, we burnt huge amount of money doing that pattern within just a span of 2.5, 3 years. That was a very, very costly mistake. So if you ask me that way, thanks for bringing up this point. Biggest mistake what a foundryman...
Engineers are not good in running a business. That's what you're saying.
The biggest mistake is you should not take a pattern just because X foundry is doing it. You will be able to do it at X minus price or X price. You should do your costing before you take up a product for production. That is one good point which I can say.
Yeah, thanks. Sir, to concern, sir, how do you decide the right time to reinvest the profits back into your business?
Sir, we are not, we always reinvest. Even I don't take my, see, we are all directors in the company and we get paid a salary. I can only spend my salary. So I know a lot of my friends who run business, they don't take any money. Whenever they want money, they take money. So we don't operate like that. We are paid a salary, we take money over what salary is paid. My personal expenses, I'll have to take out of my personal. So, so that way, the company knows how much is going to spend on me. So all my personal expenses, even my personal traveling expenses are all paid by me. My company does not pay. My company pays only if I travel officially. If I take my wife out, I have to pay out of my pocket. My company does not pay. Even though we own the business. Even though you completely own the business, we don't do that. So that way we are very clear. So we always invest the money there.
Thank you, sir.
I don't know whether you got the answer to that.
Yeah, actually, I was about to tell that before asking this question, you have answered already. So anyway, again, you briefed this, sir. Thank you very much. So, Anbu, sir, what's your view on the MSMEs accessing the institutional plans? Is it adequate or?
Yeah, institutional finance is more important for MSMEs, very important, because that's where they understand the MSMEs, like SIDBI, TIC, exclusively the finance for the MSMEs. They understand the nuances of the MSMEs, micro and small industries, and they put a scheme in favor of that. More than that, the subsidies and the government side institution support is also very, very important. Actually, it's a very wise investment to give subsidy for the MSME because இது வந்து ஒரு தங்க வாத்துடுற முட்டை மாதிரி. ஸ்மால் அமௌண்ட், சே ஒரு 10 crores இன்வெஸ்ட்மெண்ட்க்கு சப்சோஸ் they give subsidy of 1 crore also, one time investment. But year on year, this 10 crore MSME will be doing a turnover of minimum 10 crores. Minimum 10 crores or 20 crores. Every year they will make 2 crores profit to the government as a tax, 18% or 28%. So one time 1 crore investment, lifetime returns. Which business is like this? What the government is doing is only a small catalyst like that. ஊக்கி கிரியா ஊக்கின்னு சொல்லுவாங்க தமிழில். ஊக்கி மாதிரி லைட்டாக போட்டு விட்டா வாழ்நாள் ஃபுல்லாக இருக்கிற வரைக்கும் உனக்கு மட்டும் போட்டுகிட்டே இருப்பான். So that's a wonderful way of the government coming forward to assist small MSME. And all these institutions, banks, mainly SIDBI, TIC, NSIC, all these institutions, they understand the issues of MSME, micro and small industries or medium industries, and they program in such a way that it will be useful to them. And they also take our feedback, because I represent so many associations, take our feedback and they program it like that. So it's very, very important for MSMEs. It's, I appreciate that. And whatever is available is not adequate. They have to give more. Because it's, I'm telling you, தங்க வாத்துடுற முட்டை, தங்க வாத்துடுற கோழி, வாத்து. ஸோ அந்த வாத்துக்கு நிறைய தீனி போடணும், போட்டால் தான் நிறைய முட்டை விடும். தேங்க்யூ.
Thank you, sir. I don't know, we have decided to ask questions on the export orientation. The current scenario, after Mr. Trump took over as a president of US, he started a lot of trade war. Anyway, still, we wanted to understand from you also the views. Again, the question goes to Mr. Anbu, sir. Have you explored the exports from your alumni foundry yet?
Yeah, we do export. Definitely, there is a lot of opportunities for exports, because most of the European countries and even USA also, the foundry, and they are more particular about the environment and pollution, all these things. This is the reason the other countries are getting that casting and the foundry businesses. And of course, China is leader in the the foundries and all these things, no doubt about it. And now there's one more opportunity. Any corporate, they want always 2 suppliers, no? 1+1. One fails, the other will supply. So that 1+1 or 1-1, whatever is there, India has got a lot of opportunities. Only thing, we have to rise up to the occasion in quality, cost and delivery. Main Indian problem is delivery. We commit and we don't deliver. That's the biggest problem we face, not because of the industry, it's a mindset. Our Indian employees mindset. பார்த்துக்கலாம், நாளைக்கு கொடுத்துக்கலாம், இந்த வாரம் தரேன் அப்படின்னு சொல்லுவாங்க. மண்டே எந்த மண்டேன்னு கிடையாது, ஏதோ ஒரு மண்டே வரும் உனக்கு, அது மாதிரி தான் கணக்கு. ஸோ பையர் வந்து கெட் ஃபெட் அப். கீப் ஆன் சேஞ்சிங் த கோல் போஸ்ட். கோல் போஸ்ட் ஒன்று இருந்தால் அது நோக்கி விளையாடணும். But you are keeping on changing the goal post. How am I to do the business with you? That's how we have lost a lot of export business. So that's a cultural change has to be come into the industry. That's the main problem. But tremendous opportunities are there.
Thank you, sir. To Kandaswamy, sir, what are the biggest hurdles you see for MSMEs trying to enter in the export market, sir?
See, when I say export, I can talk only about the buyer being a corporate companies. I wouldn't like to talk about family-owned company in buyers. So if you take corporate, it is not that easy to export to a corporate company in Europe or to USA. So that basic fundamental necessities are required in your plant. Yeah. Of course, one is your, everybody wants to come and do an audit. They spend huge money, come all the way there from wherever they are. You should be knowing much better.
Yes.
They come all the way here and they do the audit. And now they assume that, casting quality is one assumption. Now they're looking at other things. They're looking like your safety. They're looking at now, people are talking to me about carbon footprint. What is your carbon footprint? What is your future plans in your carbon footprint? What is your safety level? How many accidents has happened in your institution? So all those things are there. Other things are now considered as basic, your facilities. Another more important thing is the paint booth. I remember, see, once again, I'm a 65 plus foundry. So in the initial days, we manufactured casting, people used to ask us paint first. I said, that's not my job. I am a foundryman. I manufacture castings. What the hell paint? You take and paint. That's not my job. Then rather forced. Then, even doing radiography. NDT, I said, that's not my job. What do you want? You want, my casting is radiography. What, level 2? Yes, it is level 2. Why should I test? You test. That's the language we used to speak. You go and test. I'm telling you it's level 2. I know it is level 2. You go test. Why should I? That's not my job. I'm a foundry man. I manufacture castings. But today you can't say. You'll have to paint. You'll have to measure the paint thickness. You have to do all sort of testing for the painting and give a report. This is my paint thickness. Consistently measured. So now we can call ourselves foundrymen, but if you are exporting, it's, even locally, I'm very sure even that's true for local customers also nowadays. But then they are very, very particular that, so you have to have a paint booth, painting thickness, finish. They want a scrata with you. All those things are required. You should show them this are available. So export, you should have enough local experience before you touch into export if you are exporting to corporate buyers. I would say otherwise, you come back with a huge damage. I had a very bad experience. Packed the casting, went, it landed in the German port. The port didn't allow it to move the castings. They said that your packing good is damaged, it has got some insect. I got a huge bill. To clear the consignment. They had to disinfect everything. Just because the packing guy here, I do not know whether we are buying those fumigated woods. Maybe some compromises happen. This small mistakes we make cost us a huge. So you should have, I feel personally, you should have a lot of local experience before you step into the export market if the buyer is a corporate company, because he will be expecting all these things.
Thank you, sir. Just to add on to your point, 10-15 days back, our Pune unit was audited by the Siemens Germany guys. Primarily they kept, the Indians came and auditor, and then they wanted the helmet color code has to be followed. We are not using the color code. Generally, whatever the helmets, I think many of you visited our foundry. But that fellow, sir, you have to give that the color code, you have to strictly follow. Otherwise, our German engineers, and because the Siemens, they are the quality head and the purchase head, both have come and audit the foundry for 2 days. So 2 days they will not tolerate, sir, definitely you have to. So overnight we have changed, within 3 days we have changed the color coding and then displayed everywhere. This is the color code means, what is the color code means? For visitor means it is grey. For the maintenance person it's blue, like that. It is available in the Google, so we search in the Google immediately. We replace all the helmets for almost 1,000 helmets we bought it in 3-4 days time. And then we change it. This is the requirement, export. So basics. And to Ranga sir, now how can MSME foundries build credibility with the overseas customers?
See, we have some deemed export customers. So working with them has helped us to bring up the standard of our quality and of course delivery. They are very, very particular. Whatever we commit, they are very, very particular about the commitments. And it has only helped us to get one direct export order. But like Kandaswamy sir was saying, I don't know whether it is a corporate company or a family-owned business, but finally, after 10 years, we have made one direct export order we have received recently, and it's a very prestigious customer. The only thing is we have not yet executed, so probably we'll take all these inputs, very valuable inputs that we have got here. And of course, Prem sir has been always telling me we have to be very, very careful while executing an export order. Yeah. But again, this export order is for the lost form castings. So we need to be extra careful because it is something new to us, and we don't have anybody to fall back upon. Anything going wrong will be thing. So I think consistent improvement in quality and adhering to customer requirements and commitments is very, very important. Till now, whatever experience we have got in export is this, sir, I think.
Ranganathan, what I would add is packing, you better get your packing approved. How you are going to put a 3D model, say this is going to be the packing and everything, because ultimately we find that after it reaches the destinations, either it is damaged or it is rusting. So packing, you'll have to be really, really very careful. Yes. You get the packing approved by your buyer. I have put a 3D model, what do you do? How do you pack it? How many pieces in a case? Yes. All those things, and how are you going to separate each? If it's going to be a fully machined component, how are you going to separate each part? Those things play a critical role, because I've heard of people, the parts getting rejected because it is rubbing against each other and getting damaged.
With regards to that, the customer himself gave us another supplier who is in Coimbatore. So we went and visited him, and he showed us the packing, the separator, everything, and so that has really helped us to at least know the customer's requirement. And one more thing is, on the quality side, this is going to be a fully finished or machined casting in-house from SVPL, and hydraulic test is going to be conducted, so leak test also is going to be done. So we are going to be 100% sure, we think we are going to be 100% sure that the customer is going to accept our castings. Let's see.
Yeah, to add this packing standard, yeah, for the same customer, we are supplying 3 or 4 products. So to delight the customer, what we did, we put the image of the casting on the packing, so that they can understand. It's a lot of 3 or 4 varieties coming from the same supplier, so they can understand what casting is inside the packing box. So really they are delighted and appreciated us. So you can think of those things also. So next to Anbuselvan. Do you see the China Plus One strategy opening real opportunity for the MSMEs in the export?
Definitely, because nobody wants to put all the eggs in one basket. So any buyer from abroad, international buyers, they don't want to take a risk of depending on one country. Recently what happened in the chip shortage. China choked the chips, and the entire Indian automobile industry came to a standstill. Okay, it was arm twisting tactics of China to make our government agree whatever the terms they are putting. So this is the same thing they will do for all other. They are doing for all other countries also. So no country want to depend on one particular country or one particular place. Definitely they need to have an alternative source. So there comes the China Plus One. So China, to compensate China's thing, we have the required manpower and technology. There's no doubt about it. Only that speed and the volume, that is very important. And the next thing is tariff. Nowadays the tariff is the biggest jargon word used in the media. After Trump's trumpet, everybody talk about tariff. So China is coming forward to support their industry with whatever the extra tariff the industry is facing, the government is supporting them. Similarly, other South American countries also supporting the industries by giving support to the industries. So support that cost, whatever the cost the industry is losing, the government is supporting as a subsidy or grant, whatever is there. So the industries are free to deliver. As promised, they deliver and they will proceed on. That is the support the governments are getting. And similarly, our government also should step in to see that whatever the commitment our industries are given to the buyers, because of this tariff, the industry should not get suffered. Because it's not only the revenue, it is a life of lakhs and lakhs of people who depending on the industry. If it's textile industry or a garment industry, millions of people are working based on that. And if suppose the entire thing stops, definitely the livelihood of all these things, people will get affected. Giving employment, generating revenue to the people is government responsibility, and we have taken that responsibility. So we are doing a lot of sacrifice to do this responsibility, fulfilling some of the obligation of the government, and government should come forward to support us. That's my view.
Great, sir. Thank you. So, Kandaswamy, sir, do you think the specialty castings offer a natural edge for the exports?
See, I wouldn't say what we are manufacturing is any specialty castings. Only thing is we do not manufacture green sand molded castings. Ours is all resin sand molding, comparatively low volume, high quality. Yes, but to answer your question, yes, it does get a premium price. So we are today concentrating more on export. For the reason that, the price we get with the Indian buyers is not that lucrative for the effort we as Foundrymen put. Whereas when we are seeing the export price, the price is attractive. But then we should be completely geared up for that. The facility, the response, our manpower, everything should be, we should be geared up for that. I wouldn't know much about automobile casting, which you guys are doing.
Yeah.
So I do not know what is the price, how you compare your price with the Indian buyer and the similar type of casting with a European or American buyer. I don't have that subject knowledge. But I can tell you that in my industry, I think the price is much better, but the demand from the customers also very high. They're looking like warehousing, so all those things, they're looking at duty paid, DDP, that sort of things they're looking at. And those facilities are all available. We can do that facilities. The only thing is comes at a cost, and these customers are ready to pay. And as long as we keep on give additional value, we always make more and more margins. So everything, and they are ready to pay for that. So to answer your question, yes, it's got a better price.
Thank you, sir. To Mr. Ranga, would you encourage already you have mentioned about that the export you are starting. Would you encourage the fellow foundries to export exports early or first stabilize locally?
Sir, it is surely interlinked. I think if somebody has to export their castings, quality should surely first get stabilized. In fact, our own foundry, we had to wait for about 10 years now to, even though we had 2-3 opportunities earlier, the customer who visited us also told us that call us back when you are ready for exports. Right now, we don't see that you are ready. So after 10 years, we have come to this stage. But I think surely quality, sanitation is 100% required before we start exports. Otherwise, from what I've heard and also my experiences, the foundry will pay a very huge price if the quality is not up to the mark.
Thanks, Ranga. We go into the critical area now, the casting. This question, first question goes to Mr. Kandaswamy, sir. How do you approach the casting for specialty castings that are not standardized?
See, most of the foundrymen, they says they're never ever happy with the price they are getting, and it's true so. I don't think foundrymen get reasonable price for the casting and the effort they put. And who's the culprit for this? The culprit is the foundryman. Rather, I just want to quote this, this was said by Coimbatore foundryman when I was in Coimbatore. Like he said, sir, உங்களுக்கு தெரியுங்களா உங்களுக்கு இன்னைக்கு காலையில் ட்ரெயினில் வந்தாங்க, இறங்கி ஆட்டோவில் ஏறி ஏதோ பீலமேடோ போகணுன்னு சொன்னேன். அவன் ஏதோ சார்ஜ் சொன்னான், ரொம்ப ஜாஸ்தியாக இருக்குது. அடுத்த ஆட்டோ கேட்டேன், அவனும் அதே தான் சொல்கிறான். அவனையும் விட்டு 3வது ஆட்டோவில் கேட்டேன், அவனும் அதே தான் சொன்னான். அந்த ஆட்டோக்காரங்கிட்ட இருக்கிற அந்த ஒற்றுமை நம்மக்கிட்ட இல்லை சார். திஸ் இஸ் த வேர்ட் ஆஃப் அ ஃபவுண்டரி மேன் இன் கோயம்புத்தூர். He shared this with me. அந்த ஆட்டோக்காரங்கிட்ட இருக்கிற ஒத்துமை கூட நம்மக்கிட்ட இல்லை சார் அப்படின்னாரு. ஸோ as I said, Ranganathan is the right person to run a foundry because he's not an engineer. Because we engineers, we get the knowledge, we know how to manufacture castings, but we may not know how to run a business. So you start a foundry, then you need the order. Then as he said, somebody is quoted at X price and I'll give you X price or X minus. And you should take it at X minus.
That's right.
So you take it at X minus, then you pay a price. And then what happens is, you kill the other guy.
Yes.
The guy who was making reasonably profit, then you kill the other guy because the other guy has to compete with you. So you kill the other guy also. I do not know the answer to this chicken or egg. But how do we do costing? Once again, mine is I keep on quoting this, mine is a legacy foundry. And we are very particular as to how we work out a code. We almost do the methoding. So we know once we get a drawing, we know what is the box size is going to come in. Because ours is not a standard box. Green sand molding will have a standard box. Okay. My box is not standard. I have multiple boxes. So I know this casting will go in this box. After I putting the runner bar system, this is the outer dimension. I know what is the sand consumption. Hence sand cost. Then I decide what is the methoding, how many risers I'm putting. Then I know what's the pouring weight yield. I know what's the sleeve I'm putting. I know what's my sleeve cost. I know the spec. That means is there any copper addition or not. So we do the costing and then we arrive at the costing. It is a very, very tedious work. For me, my estimation department is a big department and I spend huge money in my estimation. Sending out quote is a very, very costly affair. Once customers do not respond to our costing, then we stop submitting quotation because it's a time consuming and expensive. That is how we do the costing. But here, once again, I want to qualify. There is something called cost and something called price. Ideally, the price should be equal to cost or more. But based on certain strategically, we know the cost and then we quote the price. So that is a strategy which we have to adopt. Okay. But at least we know what is the cost. And blindly we do not quote. So costing is very, very critical. But sometimes I do understand the pains, the compulsion of a foundryman because he wants to fill up his capacity. One thing I am personally dead against is the reverse auction. People have come to me for reverse auction. I said, no, I will not participate in reverse auction. I am not selling a commodity for you to give me a reverse auction. When some of my customers said, no, you have to quote, I said, yes, I will participate. I'll put one price, then I'll walk out of the website. It's up to you to whether to give or not to give. I mean, personally, I feel insulted that somebody comes and tells me, come and join the reverse auctions. But I see my other foundries are following the reverse auction. I don't want to pass any judgment. As I said, it is my view. It is my view. But what's going to happen in a reverse auction? How can I keep on reducing my price? Just ultimately, it's 1 rupee per kg. I reduce another person. Ultimately, we always think we are reducing only 1 rupee per kg. I know one very big industry, which is a fabrication industry. When I had a discussion with him as to why you are quoting such low prices, he said, boss, I've taken such a big loan. I have hundreds of employees. I'll have to tell my bank my sales turnover. If I don't do a sales turnover, how will my bank fund me? So he is now compelled to take a business almost at the negative because he has to show some information to the bank that he's having a sales turnover, hoping that sometime in the future it will recover. But if it doesn't recover...
So China is coming forward to support their industry with whatever the extra tariff the industry is facing. The government is supporting them. Similarly, other South American countries also supporting the industries by giving support to the industries. So support that cost, whatever the cost the industry is losing, the government is supporting as a subsidy or grant, whatever is there. So the industries are free to deliver. As promised, they deliver and they will proceed on. That's the support the governments are getting. And similarly, our government also should step in to see that whatever the commitment our industries are given to the buyers, because of this tariff, the industry should not get suffered. Because it's not only the revenue, it is a life of lakhs and lakhs of people who depending on the industry. If it's textile industry or garment industry, millions of people are working based on that. And if suppose the entire thing stops, definitely the livelihood of all these things, people will get affected. Giving employment, generating revenue to the people is government responsibility, and we have taken that responsibility. So we are doing a lot of sacrifice to do this responsibility, fulfilling some of the obligation of the government, and government should come forward to support us. That's my view.
Great, sir. Thank you. So, concern, sir. Do you think the specialty castings offer a natural edge for the exports?
See, I wouldn't say what we are manufacturing is any specialty castings. Only thing is we do not manufacture green sand molded castings. Ours is all resin sand molding, comparatively low volume, high quality. Yes, but to answer your question, yes, it does get a premium price. So we are today concentrating more on export, for the reason that the price we get with the Indian buyers is not that lucrative for the effort we as Foundrymen put. Whereas when we are seeing the export price, the price is attractive, but then we should be completely geared up for that. The facility, the response, our manpower, everything should be, we should be geared up for that. I wouldn't know much about automobile casting, which you guys are doing.
Yeah.
So I do not know what is the price, how you compare your price with the Indian buyer and the similar type of casting with a European or American buyer. I don't have that subject knowledge, but I can tell you that in my industry, I think the price is much better, but the demand from the customers also very high. They're looking like warehousing, so all those things they're looking at, duty paid, DDP, that sort of things they're looking at. And those facilities are all available. We can't do that facilities. The only thing is comes at a cost, and these customers are ready to pay. And as long as we keep on give additional value, we always make more and more margins. So everything, and they are ready to pay for that. So to answer your question, yes, it's got a better price.
Thank you, sir. To Mr. Ragga, would you encourage already you have mentioned about that the export you are starting. Would you encourage the fellow foundries to export exports early or first stabilize locally?
So it is surely interlinked. I think if somebody has to export their castings, quality should surely first get stabilized. In fact, our own foundry, we had to wait for about 10 years now to, even though we had 2-3 opportunities earlier, the customer who visited us also told us that call us back when you are ready for exports. Right now, we don't see that you are ready. So after 10 years, we have come to this stage. But I think surely quality sanitation is 100% required before we start exports. Otherwise, from what I have heard and also my experiences, the foundry will pay a very huge price if the quality is not up to the mark.
Thanks, Ranga. We go into the critical area now, the casting. This question, first question goes to Mr. Kandaswamy, sir. How do you approach the casting for specialty castings that are not standardized?
See, most of the foundrymen, they says they're never ever happy with the price they are getting, and it's true so. I don't think foundrymen get reasonable price for the casting and the effort they put. And who's the culprit for this? The culprit is the Foundrymen. Rather, I just want to quote this, this was said by Coimbatore Foundryman when I was in Coimbatore. Like he said, sir, உங்களுக்கு தெரியுங்களா உங்களுக்கு இன்னைக்கு காலையில் ட்ரெயினில் வந்தேங்க, இறங்கி ஆட்டோவில் ஏறி ஏதோ பீலமேடு போகணுன்னு சொன்னேன். அவன் ஏதோ சார்ஜ் சொன்னான், ரொம்ப ஜாஸ்தியாக இருக்குது. அடுத்த ஆட்டோ கேட்டேன், அவனும் அதே தான் சொல்கிறான். அவனையை விட்டு 3வது ஆட்டோவில் கேட்டேன், அவனும் அதே தான் சொன்னான். அந்த ஆட்டோக்காரங்கிட்ட இருக்கிற அந்த ஒற்றுமை நம்மக்கிட்ட இல்லை சார். திஸ் இஸ் த வேர்ட் ஆஃப் அ ஃபவுண்ட்ரி மேன் இன் கோயம்புத்தூர். ஹி ஷேர் திஸ் வித் மீ. அந்த ஆட்டோக்காரங்கிட்ட இருக்கிற ஒத்துமை கூட நம்மக்கிட்ட இல்லை சார் அப்படின்னாரு. ஸோ as I said, Ranganathan is the right person to run a foundry because he is not an engineer. Because we engineers, we get the knowledge, we know how to manufacture castings, but we may not know how to run a business. So you start a foundry, then you need the order. Then as he said, somebody is quoted at X price and I'll give you X price or X minus. And you should take it at X minus. So you take it at X minus, then you pay a price. And then what happens is, you kill the other guy.
Yes.
The guy who was making reasonably profit, then you kill the other guy because the other guy has to compete with you. So you kill the other guy also. I do not know the answer to this chicken or egg. But how do we do costing? Once again, mine is I keep on quoting this, mine is a legacy foundry. And we are very particular as to how we work out a code. We almost do the methoding. So we know once we get a drawing, we know what is the box size is going to come in. Because ours is not a standard box. Green sand molding would have a standard box. Okay. My box is not standard. I have multiple boxes. So this casting will go in this box. After I putting the rubber system, this is the outer dimension. I know what is the sand consumption, hence sand cost. Then I decide what is the methoding, how many risers I'm putting. Then I know what's the pouring weight yield. I know what's the sleeve I'm putting. I know what's my sleeve cost. I know the spec. That means is there any copper addition or not. So we do the costing and then we arrive at the costing. It is a very, very tedious work. For me, my estimation department is a big department and I spend huge money in my estimation. Sending out quote is a very, very costly affair. Once customers do not respond to our costing, then we stop submitting quotation because it's a time consuming and expensive. That is how we do the costing. But here, once again, I want to qualify. There is something called cost and something called price. Ideally, the price should be equal to cost or more. But based on certain strategically, we know the cost and then we quote the price. So that is a strategy which we have to adopt. Okay. But at least we know what is the cost. And blindly we do not quote. So costing is very, very critical. But sometimes I do understand the pains, the compulsion of a foundryman because he wants to fill up his capacity. One thing I am personally dead against is the reverse auction. People have come to me for reverse auction. I said, no, I will not participate in reverse auction. I am not selling a commodity for you to give me a reverse auction. When some of my customers said, no, you have to quote, I said, yes, I will participate. I'll put one price, then I'll walk out of the website. It's up to you to whether to give or not to give. I mean, personally, I feel insulted that somebody comes and tells me, come and join the reverse auctions. But I see my other foundries are following the reverse auction. I don't want to pass any judgment. As I said, it is my view. It is my view. But what's going to happen in a reverse auction? How can I keep on reducing my price? Just ultimately, it's 1 rupee per kg. I reduce another person. Ultimately, we always think we are reducing only 1 rupee per kg. I know one very big industry, which is a fabrication industry. When I had a discussion with him as to why you are quoting such low prices, he said, boss, I've taken such a big loan. I have hundreds of employees. I'll have to tell my bank my sales turnover. If I don't do a sales turnover, how will my bank fund me? So he is now compelled to take a business almost at the negative, because he has to show some information to the bank that he is having a sales turnover, hoping that sometime in the future it will recover. But if it doesn't recover, it's a
factor in the hidden costs or rejections or reworks. It is purely on our costing. So we take a hit, but again, we are only seeing to that the rejections are being brought down, and we do a good amount of costing now so that we know what is our margin, and probably at times we have to take it at cost, but we at least know that, like Kandaswamy sir was saying, that we are taking it at cost just to fill up our load, not getting any margin or wafer thin margin. But at least now we are doing a good cost analysis, and there is no way we can factor in the hidden cost in the margins that we are getting in automotive foundry.
Yeah, you'll have to factor in some percentage for rejection. It has got to be there in the costing. Of course, rework cost, iron casting, much of rework cannot be done, not like steel castings. It's right away scrapped. So, but I'm sure we should factor in some rejection percentage. We can't make it.
Yes, sir. So, to Anbu sir, what advice would you give other MSMEs to improve their casting practices, sir? Pardon? What advice would you give other MSMEs to improve their casting? Just for the time factor, I'm skipping some of the questions.
Yeah.
Which I shared already.
The best advice I should say is you should not be hasty in quoting. Very important. Because to get order, we should hastily go get quote and get order, then they'll end up in negative loss. It's a big issue. So one small loss, to recover that loss, it will take a lot of time to recover, because Foundry is not a high-paying industry. It's a work on a very strict margins. More than that, I would say, after all, we are putting all the efforts, so putting some lot of hard works, investment, everything is to, purpose of the industry is to make money. And money should go to the good people. The entrepreneurs are all, I should say, good, because otherwise they will not go not into the manufacturing line. Because they want to make it sincere efforts to make some money, and also to revenue to the government. They are in the starting industry and doing this business. So, by and large, good people end up in manufacturing, I will say. So, money should go to them. So, they should be careful in quoting, because like it's all, underquoting kills another industry. So, you don't go hastily in quoting. You have a systematic way of capturing all the heads, which is what are the expenses incurred, and any quoting, you should go into that exercise only. When a customer asks me a quoting also, over the table I can tell this is the cost. You will ask me, 30 years of experience, can't you tell? No, I don't have the habit of telling over the table. You send me everything, I will send it to my department. They will put it systematically and bring it to me. Then I will see what is it. Because I am a owner, proprietor, that's the biggest problem as being a proprietor. Suppose I am a corporate or anything, or some employee, they will not ask this question. Because I am a proprietor, neither owner, சொல்லுங்க எவ்வளவு காஸ்ட் இவ்வளோ தர முடியுமா தர முடியாதா அது மாதிரி நான் பிஸ்னஸ் வேணாம் எடுத்துன்னு போகணும்னு சொல்லிடுவேன். ஒருத்தர் ஃபோன்லேயே சொல்லுங்கன்னாரு, உன் பிஸ்னஸ் வேணான்னு சொல்லிட்டேன், முடிஞ்சு போச்சு கதை. ஏன்னா அந்த அளவுக்கு நம்ம இறங்கி போய் சொன்னோம்னா தேர் இஸ் நோ எண்ட் ஃபார் இட். ஸோ யூ சென்ட் ட்ராயிங் எவ்ரி திங், அதில் என்ன இருக்குன்னு பார்த்தா தான் தெரியும், என்ன டாலரன்ஸ் இருக்குது. நான் ஃபுல்லி மிஷின்ட்டு ஃபுல்லி கம்ப்ளீட் காஸ்டிங் கொடுக்க போகிறோம் நம்ம. ஸோ என்னென்ன இருக்குன்றது பார்த்தா தான் தெரியும் நமக்கு. எல்லாத்தையும் நம்ம பார்த்துட்டு நம்ம அந்த சாஃப்ட்வேரில் போட்டு எடுத்து எல்லாம் பண்ணதுக்கு அதுக்கப்புறம் நம்ம என்ன மார்ஜின் இருக்குது அப்போ நெகோஷியேட் பண்ணலாம். அதில் ஒரு மார்ஜினல் நெகோஷியேஷன் பண்ணலாம். பட் எடுத்தோடனே ஒரு பிளாங்கெட்டாக கிலோவுக்கு என்ன இது அரிசியாக வர மாதிரி என்ன கிலோ இதுதான் கிலோவில் பேச ஆரம்பிச்சா காலி. நம்ம என்னைக்கு கேஸ்டிங்கை நம்ம கிலோவில் கோட் பண்ணோமோ அன்றைக்கே நம்ம காலி ஆகிட்டோம். இட் ஷுட் பி லைக் ஏ காம்பனண்ட். அப்போ தான் நம்மகிட்ட இருந்து 300 ரூபாய்க்கு வாங்கி 3000 ரூபாய்க்கு ஒன்ஸ் இட் 2 கோயிங் டு அசம்பிளி லைன், அது 3000 ரூபாய் போகுது அந்த கேஸ்டிங் வேல்யூ. That is how, so yeah, my advice is don't be hasty in quoting, go in a systematic, rhythmic way, so that at least you make some margin. You don't go big business also. Whatever business you are doing, you'll make profit and you'll be safe. That's my
Thank you, sir. Next, going to the critical and some embracing. Don't feel bad. The succession planning, because MSME is almost 100% owned by the families. So, to Kandaswamy, sir, how do you see your role in preparing the third generation or professional managers?
The third generation should be interested, as simple as that. So, you know, I'm the second generation.
That's the reason I asked.
Yeah, so I'm 60 plus, so, you know, when I was. So those days, you know, probably I would not have spoken against my parents, that they probably earmarked my future, including my wife. So everything is done by them. But today's generation, you can't say that, you know. So it's true. So the first thing before I went to my new planters was that whether the third generation is ready to come in. So he came, he was there for a few years. He said, okay, I'm here for the long haul. So only when he was ready for it, then I ready to go. Otherwise, you know, like I always used to tell my father that you cannot father a baby and ask me to take care of it. So something like that, you know. So I didn't want to father a baby and ask my son to take care of it. Said, if you are interested, we can do it. So that's, otherwise we would not have done it. So it's a problem for a family-run business. If you want to go professional, that vision I did not have, to go professionals. But I think the next generation are well knowledgeable. They have super ideas. And probably this question may not be valid to my son because he might have a different vision. But for me, this is a relevant question, and the reason was, since he was interested, I had gone through that.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. To Mr. Ranga, as a first generation entrepreneur, how do you see the challenges of bringing the next generation? It's too early to ask you. So, anyway, what's your view on this?
Yeah, it is pretty early because I'm myself fully not settled into what I'm doing.
How old is your next generation?
My daughter is in her 12th.
Yeah, pretty young.
Yeah. So, and I know she is not getting anywhere near the Foundry. My son is, of course, only 7. So, he's also got a 7 standard, 11 years old. So, so, but one thing is, you know, the Foundry which the first generation, that is my dad, and we have created, I think if I have to hand it over to the next generation, I may be a first generation Foundryman, but practicing Foundryman, but as a family business, I'm the second generation. So, yeah. Third generation, if they have to come in and take in our Foundry or family business, I think we need to do a lot of things on account of technology. If it is going to be the same dirty, hot, and not finding manpower and day-to-day challenges, finance challenges, and all these things, I'm sure I myself may not be interested in handing it over to the third generation, I have to be very honest. So I think I have a very long road ahead of me to, you know, do it myself before I ask the generation whether they will be interested. I will have to do a lot of things to hand it over to them.
So, a lot of homework you have to do. Okay, good. Sir, to Anbu sir, what qualities do you think the next leader of your company should definitely have?
Pardon?
What qualities do you think the next leader of your company should definitely have?
Yeah, next generation, right? Next leader. First, you should have self-confidence. Without self-confidence, you cannot run any business. The first thing, whether education or finance, everything comes next. First, you should believe in yourself. If you don't believe in yourself, you cannot deliver anything. If you have belief in yourself, you have seen so many stalwarts, without anything, they started business and created a very big kingdom. Okay. They had only self-confidence. Like, there are VGP, who was a tea boy, he came to Chennai. Now he is having a very big empire. So many hundreds of examples are there. So, first is self-confidence. Next is willing to learn, educate yourself. Whether you are qualified or not, that's immaterial. So many unqualified people practiced, and what they practiced, we are reading as engineering. Okay, whether you are that's willing to learn and develop your skill along with the industry, along with the technology. That should be there. Third is empathy. I feel that empathy towards your employees. That's very important for a leader. Otherwise, you cannot retain people. Empathy should come naturally. You cannot act. It should come from your heart. You should see their problem as your problem. Then only you can to make a team, build a team. It should be like extended family. Like that kind of vision you should have. Then only you can run a big organizations. For example, I can say Tatas. So big they are, but still they are taking care of the employees like anything. That's very important. So that's why they are sustaining for so long a period. Similarly, empathy, these things, and last thing is discipline and integrity. Discipline should be there. See, there should be some discipline. The roughly run an organization is like 100% discipline is required. Early morning, most of the successful people, they rise up early morning, they do some exercise or yoga, whatever is there. And integrity. Business integrity is very important. In the company ki supply panna, definitely namakku payment varum. In the company வேலை செஞ்சா 5ஆம் தேதி 7ஆம் தேதி நமக்கு டைம் அக்கவுண்ட்ல பணம் வந்துரும். அந்த இது நம்பிக்கை நீங்க கிரியேட் பண்ணணும். எல்லாருக்கும் கிரியேட் பண்ணணும். இது இஸ் நாட் ஈஸி. ஒரு நாள், ஒரு மாசம், ஒரு வருஷம் கிடையாது. 30 வருஷம் பண்ணாலும், 50 வருஷம் பண்ணாலும், 100 வருஷம் பண்ணாலும், that integrity and honesty and discipline, these are the basic qualities to be an entrepreneur. That's very important. And in certain things you have to be very firm. You have to put your foot firm. No, you should learn to say no. எப்போ நோ சொல்லணும்னா தெரிஞ்சுக்கணும் ஃபஸ்ட்டு. எல்லாத்துக்கும் எஸ் சொல்லிட்டு தான் பூம்பு மாறிடுவோம். ஓகே, பிடிக்கல இந்த வேலை பிஸ்னஸ் வேண்டாம்னா வேண்டாம், பரவாயில்ல. ரீசென்ட்லி ஐ வெரி பிக் கார்பரேட் ஓஇ சப்ளை 50, almost like 40% of the business I am doing for them. The cost increase discussed, they were not willing to give. Only they are willing to give only the metal cost only. Other thing also increasing. Power is increasing, labor is increasing, rent is increasing, government tax is increasing every year. But they are not even willing to even spend 1% also increase. Then he politely told, entire business I surrender, you please take it. I'll tap it down, I'll supply for 2-3, because I'm not going to cut you, I'm not going to stop the supply. I'll tap it down for 3 months. 3 months I'll give you the program. Every month I reduce my schedule. 3rd month I'm surrendering my die, you please take it. You do everything, you do it. No problem. 40% business we can think freely and look for other business. Otherwise you are fully engaged, always chasing, and no time to think, no time to breathe. And where is the growth? Check mark mari, and no growth. So this decision I have taken recently, and I have surrendered 40% of my business. I am saying no to a big corporate. I don't want to say the company, big company. I have surrendered. So this is how I have been doing my business for 35 years. I am happily surviving. So no problem. That's the quality, I think.
Sir, when I ask for a price increase, as I said, I don't just ask for the metal price increase. I ask for the increase, then I add my profit margin and ask for the increase. Who is going to pay me the profit? Because I would have supplied that casting 30 years back.
That's what.
30 years back, I'm only quoting the raw material prices increase. My margins. So nowadays, I ask for the price increase, then add my profit margin. I say, this is my increase in material cost, blah, 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 whatever it is, then my profit margin. Of course, people resist. It's my job to convince them.
So that's the biggest quality, I think.
Thank you, sir. Considering the time factor, with this I stop the topics, whatever we selected. 3 topics are there, but it cannot be completed. When we designed the program, we thought it is 1 hour 15 minutes, but it's gone beyond 1 hour 45 minutes, but still we are unable to conclude. Thanks for your insights and then things. Now the floor is open for the questions from the audience. You can mention the CEO name and then you can raise your question.
From Nirantara Solutions. this question is open to all. Mr. Kandaswamy, you had mentioned about your requirements, which your foreign customers are coming up with, not only safety but emissions plus so many other things. So basically, we're talking about ESG now. So, what is the plan for the MSMEs to tackle this issue? Because especially for Europe, this is going to become more and more serious and more, it's definitely becoming mandatory. CBAM is coming, and how do you think it's going to impact your business? Would you be going forward with these things? Will it impact on your price? What's your opinion on that?
I'm not sure whether it's going to impact on my price. So mostly with reference to the carbon footprint. People are asking what is going to be a carbon footprint. So what now the easy way out is most of the foundries are already doing that is or going for either a solar power plant or a windmill, and that amount of energy is knocked out by the tangent core. So we say that this is our way of going. We are gone for a solar plant, we are gone for a windmill plant. So what I've done is, in my new plant, I've gone everything in electric. I used to have a oil-fired heat treatment furnace or oil-fired lateral preheater. Now I've gone for completely electric. So from my side, I've gone for electric, and I get the non-conventional energy. So I said, this is my unit consumption, but this is the percentage of unit I'm getting out of non-conventional energy. So hence, I am mitigating that. So that is how we done it. So the conscious decision we took was going everything electric. But I am able to reduce my carbon footprint. By this. And this is going to play a role, and rather I think these European buyers might favor me vis-a-vis someone else if they are not in that bracket. But I think most of the foundries today are into this non-conventional energy, so that's one good thing. I hope I answered your question.
Yeah. Sir, do you have any view on this question?
So this is a very important question. I am industry in Perangudi Industrial Estate. We had 5 acres of land, OSR land in our estate. I discussed with my SIDCO CMD. I got that land. I integrated with the Exnora and used the PayPal CSR fund. We planted 10,000 trees there. I took the initiative, 10,000 trees there. And I should say my estate is now carbon positive. All industries
great
are...
job, sir. Great job.
Carbon, yeah. My industrial estate, whatever the carbon print we are producing, it is now utilized because of this action. Our next step, all the streets everywhere, now we are planning to plant another 2,000 trees. So this kind of social activities we take as a... Because we may not have CSR fund as a MSME. There are so many companies who have a CSR fund, we can utilize them, and the Exnora and other organizations, we have to put some effort. Social activities are also more important. Okay. ஊர் கூடி தான் தேர் எடுக்க முடியும் தனி மரம் தோப்பாகாது இதெல்லாம் நம்ம ஊரில் சொல்லி கொடுத்த பழமொழிகள் so we have to come together and work together see that our carbon print is negative so that we do take all this we are doing and we will do it continuously. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
I think it's a very nice session. Sir, ஒரே ஒரு கொஸ்டின் தான். எல்லாம் கம்பெனி ஆரம்பிக்கிறப்போ நம்மளுடைய கனவுலாம் என்ன இருக்கணும் ஓவர் நைட்டில் ஓமா இல்லாமல் ஆசைப்படுவோம் being a MSME part of this side. And MSME wants to grow, but I think as a Foundry specifically, the benchmark is another thing. A lot of benchmarking for any aspects, maybe financial prudence. So, getting enough financial, what will be your path? What will be your benchmark? Which industry your benchmark? I do not know. Maybe what will be the energy? My other factor which whether you as a MSMEs are you driving yourself or into just to throw a light, it will be nice. Any aspects.
Any parameter is...
Any parameters. Could be energy.
Actually, at least we operate on our energy consumption, So furnace, what is the benchmark? We try to understand the industry norms. very difficult to collect that information. But once we try to collect the information and work on those benchmarks, mainly in power consumption, in compressor power consumption. Now, since we are put up a new plant, everywhere we have the energy meter, and we monitor, able to plot it in a graph on a daily review basis. What is my power factor on a daily basis? What is my power factor? Not operate less than 0.98. So what do I do if it is coming down? So all those things are taken, and so we plot it mostly on the energy side. That is where we are concerning. So since we are sort of a topping resin sand molding line, other areas we are yet to work on. Mainly on the energy side we are working. Air compressor. We have gone for expensive compressor, but it's supposed to be energy efficient compressors. So what is the energy consumption there? Arresting leakages of air, because next to furnace, I think compressor is one of the highest power consumption. So making sure that those things are all being data collected, data plotted, and data reviewed.
Sir, I think benchmarking...
For us, those answers, for me it's not relevant because it varies from casting to casting. Like for me, my sand to metal ratio, if you take, it varies from item to item, it varies. Because I make box molded castings, smaller box, bigger box, so it varies. So only, melting cost where I can do that. Yield also, it varies. I can't have a standard yield in my casting, so that may not be relevant to me. I only study at my average yield of my foundry. So my average yield today of my foundry is 70%. That doesn't mean it is 70% throughout. Some might be 85, 90%, some might be 50%. So average it is 70%. But then I have certain items which I have less yield, and when my customer schedule increases there, I've seen my yield comes down to 65%. Only thing is I have an answer. If it's 65% is my data, I just find out why it is 65%, and if I have a correct answer, I leave it at that. I don't want to improve my yield for that item from 65% to 70%. I don't operate like that. That doesn't mean I am right. I just want to qualify that statement.
So as far as he's getting his cost...
But if I start increasing my yield, I may lead to a defective casting.
No, I think benchmarking is very important, but I agree with Kandaswamy sir, because for a MSME, when we benchmark against whom and what is very important. See, from our suppliers, we come to know in short blasting, 1:2 is the benchmark. That is for every kg that you produce, you have to use only 2 kgs of shots. So if I'm producing 300 tons of casting, then I'll have to only use 600 kgs of shots. But it is never the case. So these sort of benchmarking, and if you are using cold box resin, they say the amine should not exceed 20 to 25% max. But ours is never even close to that. So as a MSME foundry, we get all these benchmarks and we try to move towards that. But we have our own limitations, and how fast we reach those benchmarks is our success. But again, if you take on labor, we know that we are not we are a jolt and squeeze line, so we cannot benchmark against, a Japanese foundry or this thing where they say it is 1:5. But we are not even 1:1. in the sense my one labor doesn't even produce 1 ton because we have close to 250 to 280 and we are producing only about 350. Okay. So that way benchmarking is very, very important. But as a MSME, whatever equipments that we have and whatever, see, to be very frank, our furnace units, we have achieved close to about 600 to 620 units. We have never come down below 600, 575, 580 we achieve someday, but it is never the case. And
no, when you achieved 570, 580,
yes.
Only thing is you're missing it out consistently.
Consistently. Correct. I know. See, that is what she said. And today, our
excellent.
customers have such data. And customer says, see, such a large foundry, they are able to achieve this. And you are such a small foundry, and you are a MSME, you are not able to achieve it. They don't understand it is much, much difficult for a MSME to achieve these sort of figures than a larger foundry. And they say, sir, you see such large foundries, their ancillary load is so much. They have so many equipments. Their cost is only this much. And you say your ancillary load is only so many equipments. I can see only these many equipments. And you are saying your ancillary load is so high. So to that extent, our production is very less. You know, large foundries, the production is so high, the cost gets divided. So our ancillary load, our furnace, this thing, doesn't get divided by our output. So I'm saying benchmarking with what and how is very, very important, but it is not at all comparable. Exactly, sir. I'm saying it is important. But, you know, because when a customer is able to buy it at X price, why should he pay X plus 1 to you? You may have your own limitations. So at last, we are competing in a global village. So we have to be competitive. Correct. Exactly.
Yeah. Thank you, sir. Thank you for the audience. To officially close this CEO Meet, ladies and gentlemen, as we draw this insightful session to close, I would first like to express my heartfelt thanks to the IAF Southern Region and IAF Chennai chapter for giving me the opportunity to moderate today's MSME CEO Meet. My sincere gratitude to our distinguished panelists, Mr. Kandaswamy, Mr. S.V. Ranganathan, and Mr. K.S. Anbuselvan, for sharing their invaluable experiences, practical insights, and vision for the future of the industry. Your openness today has truly enriched all of us. I would also like to thank each one of you in the audience for your passionate listening, thoughtful participation, and commitment to learning, because it is the spirit of sparring that makes such gatherings meaningful. Thank you once again. Sir, please.
Our CEOs who are part of this MSME meet, we now request Mr. K. Varatharajan to felicitate Mr. T. Kandaswamy, the Managing Director of Southern Alloy Foundries, with the Angavastram and a memento, please. Next, we request Mr. Varatharajan to felicitate Mr. K.S. Anbuselvan, the CEO of Indsat Corporation, with the Angavastram and memento. Next, to felicitate Mr. S.V. Ranganathan, the Managing Director of Sri Venkatachalapathy Private Limited. Keep the applause going, gentlemen. now to felicitate the moderator who has conducted this program at a very successful level. May I now request Mr. S. Ramesh Babu, the Honorary Secretary of the IAF Southern Region, to felicitate Mr. K. Varatharajan with Angavastram, please. May I now request our SR Chairman, Mr. R. Palani Murugan, to felicitate Mr. K. Varatharajan with a very traditional memento. This is actually our shore temple, the memento, which is at Mahabalipuram. Thank you, gentlemen. Our organizing committee chairman, Mr. V. Balaji Krishna, wanted to share a couple of words regarding this program. Can I just request that?
Yeah, please. Thing, I can be sure that you hit a 6 in the first ball. So in fact, during one of our meetings, we were really wanting to get enough people to have this CEO meet. At one point, we couldn't get people. So we prepared a flyer with CEO meet and without CEO, so that if only 1 or 2 people turned up, we'll have the other option. But today, with 3 of you, I think this was one of the wonderful sessions we had. I am very clear that if you have imbibed every one of what they have said, 2 years of MBA wouldn't have taught you so much what you have seen on technology, costing, the strategy, and everything. I think you guys covered everything on what people need to know on the business. Thank you very much. And I also congratulate the team who prepared the questions. I don't know how you got to know how they had the answers for, but it was very wonderfully prepared questions. Really congratulate on you on that. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. If I am not mentioning Mr. Vignesh and Rajmohan to prepare this questionnaire, they supported me in length. Practically, last 2 days I am out of city for my personal commitments. So they only supported me, both Mr. Vignesh and Rajmohan. Thank you once again.
Thought-provoking session for all of us. We now shall take a short break before we reconvene for the grand evening celebration of the 76th National Foundry Day. I look forward to seeing you all as we are all there as we continue the celebrations in true Foundrymen spirit. We shall start the evening session by 6:45 p.m. Please be here on time.